So this problem is a little bit more involved for a couple of reasons. One is that we are going to be stringing together more unit conversions than we've done in the past. And second, it kind of introduces an aspect that I think is going to be best explained if I sort of draw a picture out here. So we're talking about making a cable for fiber optics that goes between New York City and Paris. So we know the distance between New York City and Paris, and they tell us that that's, and this should be an 8 here, it's 8.84 times 10 to the third kilometers. So one of the things that we need to think about is we need the same distance of cable. However, one cable is actually comprised of 6 strands. And the reason that this is important to highlight is because the information that's given to us for the rest of the problem has to do with mass of a strand. So again, it says here one strand of optical fiber weighs 1.9 times 10 to the minus third pounds per meter. So if we have a little subsection of one strand, that's going to weigh 1.19 times 10 to the minus third pounds. So that's going to be equal to 1 meter of strand. And why this is important is it's easy to potentially go through all of what we have for the problem here, but then, we will find out that we would have ended up calculating the mass of one strand. And if we're going to make a cable, the mass of that cable is actually going to be 6-fold higher because 6 strands make a cable. So again, a picture might help us make sure that we put all of these pieces together here. So the question asks us, what is the mass in kilograms? So for all of these problems, make sure that you know what the question is asking, because this is going to be the where do we want to go. All of the rest of these pieces are all the information that we know, and we could use any part of them to kind of begin the problem. I often find it helpful to start with a piece of information that maybe is not a relationship. For example, we know that we need this mass of cable. But quickly I know that I have to get rid of the units of cable because the rest of the information is provided in units of strand. So I know that one cable is equal to 6 strands. And what this allows us to do then is get rid of units of cable, and at this point that will tell me the kilometer of strands that I need. And hopefully with our picture this makes sense, right? If we need 8.84 kilometers of cable, we're going to need 6 times as much of that in terms of the length of strands, because 6 strands need to come together to make a cable. So now we need to handle the other unit that we have there, which is kilometers. So because the rest of our problem deals with units with meters, I know I need to get rid of kilometers and convert it into meters. And I'm not going to go through the details of this. You can return to sample problem 1.4 if you'd like to have a little bit better explanation about how we think about these prefix conversions and making sure we get the right things in the right parts. But 1 kilometer here is 1,000 meters. I could very easily write the 1 with the meter, and then I'd have 10 to the minus third with kilometers. Both of those would be correct. But what is important is that I have kilometers on the bottom and meters on the top. So again, we still have that this is kilometers of strand and meters of strand. Now I know I can use my 1 meter of strand conversion to walk between length of strand and weight of strand. So again, if I sort of cancel out my units now, kilometers have gone away and I'm left with meters. Now meters will go away and I've converted to pounds. Now this problem asks us to provide the answer in terms of kilograms. So the last unit conversion that we need to do is to get rid of pounds and be left with kilograms. These English to metric conversions will always be provided for you, but again, we have to make sure that we put the numbers in the right spot. 1 goes with kilogram and 2.205 goes with pound. Take and go through and make the final calculation here. Some of the things that I've highlighted to people, if this is sort of new for you, maybe go through and calculate everything in the numerator, multiply everything in the numerator and write that answer. Then go through and multiply everything in the denominator and write that answer. Because it's very easy to be fully understanding what you do, but then you enter it wrong into your calculator. So in terms of order of operations, your calculator could give you a wrong answer. We'll highlight that in another problem here. But go through and do this math and you end up with an answer of 2.86 times 10 to the fourth kilograms per cable.